All right. So today we're going to dive into something pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
It's using the law of attraction to learn English.
Oh, wow.
And, you sent over this episode from the Fluentify podcast.
Right.
And it looks like they're really kind of exploring this idea of using mindset and manifestation to boost your language learning, which is not your typical grammar lesson, right?
It's definitely a different approach.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
We often think about, language learning as like just this intellectual pursuit.
Right.
But they're really tapping into the power of
the
subconscious mind.
Yeah. And they start off talking about positive affirmations.
Okay.
And I'll admit, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Can simply repeating phrases like, I am fluent in English really make a difference?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Every time you say something negative about your language skills, like, I'm terrible at grammar, I'll never lose my accent, you're basically just reinforcing those limiting beliefs in your subconscious.
Okay.
So affirmations are about consciously replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones.
So instead of me beating myself up for every mistake I make,
exactly,
I should be focusing on my ability to learn and grow.
Yeah, just shifting that perspective a little bit.
Okay, I can see how that could be helpful.
And there's actually a neurological basis for this too.
Oh.
Research suggests that repeating these affirmations can actually rewire neural pathways in the brain. So it's strengthening those connections that are associated with positive self-belief.
Right.
And weakening the ones that are linked to self-doubt.
So it's not just about feeling good. It's about actually.
Yeah, it's creating a mental roadmap for success.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you craft effective affirmations? Is there a specific formula?
Yeah, well, they emphasize using the present tense, positive language, and focusing on specific goals.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I will be fluent.
Right.
You would want to say
got it.
I am becoming more fluent every day.
Oh.
Or instead of, I'm not afraid to make mistakes, try, I embrace mistakes as opportunities to learn.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about creating statements that feel true and empowering.
Exactly.
In the present moment, not some far off future.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to get how this could work.
Uh-huh.
Now, what about visualization?
Okay.
The podcast mentions creating a mental picture of yourself speaking English fluently.
Right.
Is that just wishful thinking or is there something more to it?
No, it's definitely more than just wishful thinking.
Okay.
It's a powerful technique that's used by athletes, musicians, even surgeons to improve performance.
Wow.
The key is to make the visualization as vivid and realistic as possible.
Okay.
So you really want to engage all of your senses.
So it's not just about vaguely picturing myself speaking perfect English.
No.
I need to create detailed scenarios in my mind.
Yes, exactly. Almost like a movie.
Okay.
And here's where the science gets really interesting.
Right.
When you vividly imagine yourself performing an action, your brain actually fires up the same neural pathways.
What?
As if you were physically doing it.
No way.
Yeah.
So it's mental rehearsal.
Exactly. It's priming your brain for success.
Okay. That's starting to blow my mind a little.
Yeah.
So by repeatedly visualizing myself speaking English fluently, I'm actually training my brain to make it happen.
That's the idea.
Wow.
The more you practice this mental rehearsal, the more natural and achievable fluency feels.
Okay.
It's about bridging the gap between where you are now and where you want to be.
This is definitely a different way of thinking about language learning.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the positive affirmations to rewire our thinking.
Right.
We've got visualization to prime our brains for fluency. But Fluentify also talks about the importance of gratitude.
Yes.
Where does that fit in?
Gratitude plays a crucial role in kind of shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already have.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging the progress you've made, however small it may seem.
Yeah.
And appreciating the opportunities that you have to learn and grow.
So instead of getting frustrated that I'm not fluent yet,
right,
I should be thankful for every new word I learn.
Exactly.
Every conversation I attempt. Yeah. Every step I take towards my goal.
Exactly. And gratitude isn't just about feeling good.
Right.
It can actually impact your learning experience.
Yeah.
When you approach language learning with a sense of gratitude, you're more likely to stay motivated.
Okay.
Embrace challenges.
Yeah.
And attract positive experiences.
This is really making me rethink my whole approach to learning English. I'm usually so focused on what I haven't achieved yet that I forget to appreciate how far I've already come.
It's easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah. So how does Fluentify suggest incorporating gratitude into the language learning process?
They recommend a really simple but powerful practice.
Okay.
Basically, start or end your study sessions by listing 3 things you're grateful for in relation to your language journey.
Okay.
It could be anything from like, I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn English, to I'm grateful for the progress I made in today's lesson. Anything like that. Just 3 things that you're grateful for.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
A little gratitude ritual to kind of keep things in perspective.
Exactly.
It's so easy to get caught up in the frustration of not being fluent yet.
Right.
But Fluentify doesn't just talk about theory, right?
No, not at all.
They actually share stories of people who've used these techniques to successfully learn English.
That's right. They feature real-life success stories from learners who have incorporated these law of attraction principles into their language journey. And these stories are incredibly powerful because they demonstrate that these techniques aren't just abstract concepts.
Right.
They can lead to tangible results.
I'm always fascinated by those aha moments when someone realizes they've made a breakthrough. It's like proof that the brain really can be rewired for success.
Absolutely.
Do they go into detail about how these learners specifically applied the techniques?
They don't delve into the specifics of each story in this particular episode.
Got it.
But they do highlight the diverse range of learners who've benefited, people of different ages, backgrounds, and starting levels. It's meant to kind of inspire the listener to explore the full episode and discover how these techniques have worked for others.
That's a smart approach.
Yeah.
It sparks curiosity, and it shows that these principles can be applied by anyone, regardless of their starting point.
Yeah.
But what would you say is the key takeaway for our listener who's eager to put this all into practice? It can't just be about passively wishing for fluency, right?
Absolutely not.
No.
The Fluentify podcast emphasizes that the law of attraction isn't about sitting back and waiting for fluency to magically happen.
Yeah.
It's about taking proactive steps to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your desired outcome.
So it's like a 2-pronged approach. You've got the practical side of learning, like studying grammar, vocabulary, practicing speaking. And then you've got this mindset piece that's kind of working behind the scenes to support your progress.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that your mindset isn't just some like fluffy feel-good extra.
Right.
It's a powerful tool that can either accelerate or hinder your language learning.
Okay. I'm fully on board with this mindset piece now. But let's be honest, it's easy to get stuck in those negative thought patterns.
It is.
I know I still catch myself thinking like, I'm just not good at languages, or I'll never sound like a native speaker. Right.
How do we break free from those like self-sabotaging beliefs?
That's where the consistent practice of these techniques comes in.
Okay.
The more you consciously choose to focus on positive affirmations, visualize your success, and cultivate gratitude, the weaker those negative thought patterns become.
Okay.
And remember the neuroplasticity we talked about.
Yeah.
Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on your thoughts and experiences.
Right.
So the more you feed it with positivity and belief, the more it will support your language learning goals.
So it's like we're retraining our brains to see ourselves as capable language learners.
Exactly.
Rather than defining ourselves by like past experiences or limiting beliefs.
Yeah. And this goes beyond just language learning. These principles can be applied to any area of life where you're seeking growth and transformation.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
So even if our listeners' main goal is mastering English,
they're picking up valuable life skills along the way.
Absolutely.
But with all this talk about mindset and manifestation, there's one question that keeps popping up in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah. If our thoughts and beliefs have like such a powerful impact on our reality, does that mean we're like solely responsible for our successes and failures?
Okay.
What about like external factors or circumstances beyond our control?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's something that the Fluentify podcast addresses directly.
Okay.
They emphasize that the law of attraction isn't about claiming sole responsibility for everything that happens in our lives.
Right.
It's more about recognizing the power we have to influence our experiences through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
So it's not about denying the existence of challenges or external factors, but rather about approaching those challenges with a mindset that empowers us to overcome them.
It's not about like pretending that challenges don't exist.
Right.
It's about like equipping yourself with the tools to face them head on.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of what we can control, our thoughts and actions, while acknowledging that there will always be elements beyond our control.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of taking action, the Fluentify podcast ends with a pretty powerful question for its listeners.
They do.
They ask,
now that you've seen how others have applied these techniques, what one action will you take to manifest your English fluency?
Wow. That's a great call to action.
Yeah, it's really about putting these concepts into practice.
Right. It's not enough to just understand these concepts intellectually.
Exactly.
What kind of one action would you suggest for our listener who's like feeling inspired to embrace this approach?
Well, it really depends on where they feel most drawn, you know?
Right.
And what resonates most strongly with them. Yeah. It could be as simple as like writing down a powerful affirmation.
Okay.
And placing it somewhere they'll see it every day.
Right.
Or it could be committing to like even just a 5-minute daily visualization practice.
Okay.
Where they vividly imagine themselves speaking English with confidence and ease.
I love those ideas.
Yeah.
Small, achievable steps.
Exactly.
That can lead to like big shifts over time.
Yeah, it's about taking that initial spark of inspiration.
Right.
And turning it into a consistent practice.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe this one action will spark a chain reaction, leading to even more positive changes in their language learning journey and beyond.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of exploring these concepts.
Yeah.
It often opens up a whole new world of possibilities, and it empowers us to take a more active role in shaping our lives.
Well, I think it's safe to say that this deep dive has been anything but typical.
It's definitely been unique.
We've gone beyond the usual grammar rules and vocabulary lists and really explored this fascinating intersection of mindset and language learning. We've learned about the power of positive affirmations to rewire our thinking, the science behind visualization, and the importance of cultivating gratitude to shift our perspective and fuel our motivation.
Exactly. And perhaps most importantly, we've discovered that learning a language isn't just about acquiring knowledge.
Right.
It's also about cultivating a belief in our own potential and embracing a mindset that supports our growth and success.
So to our listener who's been with us on this journey, we encourage you to take that one action and see where it leads you. Embrace the power of your mind.
Absolutely.
Cultivate a positive mindset.
Yes.
And watch as your English fluency unfold. You might be surprised by what you can achieve when you tap into the law of attraction.
It's a powerful thing. Remember, the journey to fluency is a process, not a destination.
Right.
There will be ups and downs, challenges, and triumphs along the way.
Yeah.
But with the right mindset and a belief in your ability to succeed, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
I love that.
Happy learning.
Yeah, happy learning. So if our thoughts and beliefs have such a powerful impact on our reality, does that mean we're solely responsible for our successes and failures? What about like those external factors or circumstances that are beyond our control?
Well, that's a really thoughtful question. And actually, it's something that the Fluentify podcast addresses.
Okay.
They emphasize that the law of attraction isn't about like claiming sole responsibility for everything that happens to us in our lives.
Right.
It's more about just recognizing the power that we do have to influence our experiences through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
So it's not about denying that challenges exist or those external factors.
Right.
But it's about approaching those challenges with a mindset that empowers us to overcome them.
Exactly. And the law of attraction isn't like a magic wand.
Right.
That eliminates all obstacles.
Got it.
It's a tool that can help us navigate those obstacles with more resilience, resourcefulness, and a belief that we can find solutions.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of what we can control, like our thoughts and actions, but also acknowledging that there are always going to be things that are beyond our control.
Right.
Now, speaking of taking action,
the
Fluentify podcast ends with a really powerful question for its listeners.
They do.
They ask,
now that you've seen how others have applied these techniques, what one action will you take to manifest your English fluency.
That's a great call to action.
It really is. It's about moving beyond just the theory.
Right, and actually putting these concepts into practice.
Exactly.
What would you suggest? Like, what kind of one action for our listener who's feeling inspired and wants to embrace this approach?
I mean, I think it really depends on the person and where they feel most drawn to and what resonates most strongly with them.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as like writing down an affirmation.
Okay.
That's really powerful to them and placing it somewhere where they'll see it every day.
Right.
Or it could be like committing to just a short 5-minute daily visualization practice.
Got it.
Where they just picture themselves speaking English confidently and with ease.
I love those ideas.
Yeah.
They're small, achievable steps.
Exactly.
But they can really lead to big shifts over time.
Exactly. And it's all about taking that inspiration.
Right.
And turning it into a consistent practice.
And who knows, maybe that one action will spark a chain reaction of positive changes for them.
It really could. And that's the beauty of exploring these concepts.
Yeah.
It opens up so many possibilities and empowers us to take control.
Well, I think it's safe to say that this deep dive has been really interesting.
It's definitely been unique.
We went beyond the usual grammar rules and vocabulary lists.
Yeah, we did.
And we explored the connection between mindset and language learning.
Right.
We learned about positive affirmations and how they can rewire our thinking and the science behind visualization.
Yeah.
And just how important it is to cultivate gratitude.
And how powerful it can be.
Yeah, to shift our perspective and fuel our motivation.
Absolutely. And I think most importantly, we learned that learning a language isn't just about acquiring knowledge.
Right.
It's about believing in ourselves and having a mindset that supports our growth.
So to our listener, we encourage you to take that one action
Yes.
and see where it leads you.
Uh-huh.
Embrace the power of your mind, cultivate a positive mindset, and watch as your English fluency unfolds.
You might just surprise yourself.
Yeah. And remember, the journey to fluency is a process. It's not a destination.
Exactly. There will be ups and downs and challenges.
But with the right mindset and the belief in yourself, you can achieve anything.
Happy learning.
Yeah, happy learning.